Hi, Dylan.
Hey, what's up, Vanessa?
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. This is going to be a fun chat. Anytime I get asked to nerd out about anything, I am very down, especially when it comes to marketing and what we're working on.
Yes, yeah, I am super excited for this conversation. I'm really excited to hear more about what you're building and really get into the nooks and crannies of the plan and the audience and all that. So, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor for you. Tell us about
Wow.
Puppy, tell us about the process, tell us where you're at, tell us everything.
Sure. Okay. So I'm the founder of Puppy.com. So Puppy is a platform to connect dog owners with dog lovers for free play dates. So essentially, it's a paradigm shift. It's a change in how we think about dog care. Because whenever I lived in New York City, living in the corporate world, I wasn't able to have a dog of my own, but I've grown up with them my entire life, from raising seeing eye dogs to having a golden doodle of my own. And there was a 6 month wait list in New York to volunteer at an animal shelter. And here I am just wanting to get my dog fix, to have a house feel like a home again. And I wasn't someone to do dog sitting or dog boarding. I didn't want to get paid to walk someone's dog for a half hour. I wanted that kind of companionship experience to hang out for the weekend or go to the park or go do something a little bit more than just like that 30-minute walk. So nothing like that existed. And so I created Puppy to kind of fill that itch, fill that need for me. And then hopefully if it's a need for me, it's a need for somebody else out there that enjoy it. Yeah, so right now I'm in the development phase for the past year and a half. I'm a solo founder, so context solo founder. I'm developing on Bubble and just going through the whole product development life cycle of interviewing customers, interviewing dog owners, people in the dog industry, just kind of see what the problems, needs, or maybe because I think dog ownership can be so much easier, but because we love our dogs so much and they provide so much love, that we just gloss over all the crap that we deal with when it comes to the lifestyle of owning a dog, that it could be so much better. So that's the kind of future that we're creating with Puppy. Yeah. And now it's game time. We got the app on the App Store. I lifted the beta invite code. I got a lot of great feedback, and now we're getting ready to just start marketing the thing and getting a critical mass of users in the West Palm area, um, and seeing where it goes.
That is super exciting. First, congratulations. It's a
Thank
very
you. Yeah,
exciting and
yeah.
nerve wracking time, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's also fun because the whole day to day is just meeting dog people and hanging out with people's dogs and just meeting them and hearing their stories and seeing how you can help. And as my dog just opened the door over here, trying to peek in.
She wants to be part of the party.
Hi,
Oh,
Maple.
hi, Maple.
Hi. Oh,
Oh my
she's
god. She's
she's a hand,
obscenely cute.
she's a handful, but she is the cutest thing ever. So
She looks like a handful.
oh my god, she's got such a personality to her. She's chewing on. It's the teething face. So it's every little thing that she finds around the condo is hers. Like this plastic bag that she got. Sorry about that. There's too much in here
Hi,
for her.
Maple.
She's so funny.
She's so cute.
She is so cute.
Oh man,
She's
she's cute.
yes. So at
Um,
this point where I'm at now is this girl just opened the door again.
she
So we're
wants
on.
she wants to be on camera.
She does. I mean, she deserves it too. She is a social media dog,
She
which we
is.
have a bunch of it. It feels like she needs to be on social. We'll get her an account, and maybe that ends up
Yeah.
being obvious marketing strategy.
That's not a bad idea, honestly. We can put a pin in that.
Yeah, we'll put that in the transcript. Um,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so tell me how Puppy works.
sure. So if you
The user experience, walk me through basically.
sure, imagine you're a dog owner and you want to go on vacation or you are out of town, whatever your scenario is that you would traditionally need like a doggy daycare provider. You can go into Puppy, create your cute dog's profile, fill out the information about them, and just simply post a play date. You post a play date, and then dog lovers near you would be able to. Maple, come here.
No, you were
Yeah.
telling me, okay, so dog owners set up a play date.
Well, yeah. So post a play date, and then dog lovers in your area can then search for play dates or dogs near them, and they can reach out and say, "Hey, I'd love to watch Maple for the weekend," or whatever the play date is that you posted. And in Puppy, we have all the features built out as far as like free ID verifications, two-way reviews, what we are all very accustomed and familiar with before you jump into a stranger's car or stay at a stranger's house. We offer all the same kind of expectations that you'd want to see on one of those apps. And then we also obviously have all the AI integrations to help kind of match people's lifestyles with the right kind of dogs too. So it makes it super easy for you to find a dog that fits what you want to do. And then meanwhile, so the dog owner gets a free play date, and I can now enjoy the love of a dog when it fits my lifestyle, if I'm the, or find a play date for Maple, who is chewing something she shouldn't be under the bed.
Classic.
Yeah, classic.
Okay, cool. So you have the classic two-sided marketplace, right? You've got your dog owners, and then you've got your people who love dogs but are not necessarily dog owners, or are not, right? It doesn't really
It can be whatever their scenario is. They can even have a dog, but maybe they create a relationship where, hey, I'll watch your dog next weekend and you watch my dog on my next trip. Whatever. It's just a two-sided marketplace, as you said, but it's definitely a chicken and egg problem where you got to get the dogs to get the people interested and vice versa. So
yes, I once worked for a company that was a two-sided marketplace, and it was like we had to, I don't even remember, it was like artists and then like community or something. It was like a two-sided marketplace, which is difficult because you have to, it's like two totally different marketing strategies, right? Mm-hmm. You need to attract two totally different groups of people who do have something in common, but the messaging is different, the audience is different, their needs are different, right?
Yeah, exactly. The core problem statement for them are two very different things. So whenever you're trying to create a marketing landing page, who is it that you're talking to? So even whenever you're walking through the app experience, how do you create an experience that is universal but yet can niche down and be relevant to that person, even though you have two very different users, ones that have dogs and ones that don't? So that's where I'm at right now, is where to start to begin creating the supply side, which in this marketplace would be like the dog owners. And then like, yeah, that's literally like you're catching me like right at the point now where it's go-to-market strategy. Like just like this is like the execution part, and I'd love to just to talk to people, especially as a dog owner yourself, like what you think would be some great avenues to connect, like where to find them or what ideas we can implement. So, yeah. So is that a part of like what you want to talk about today, or is it more just like a completely open-ended, just nerd out conversation?
No, I want to get into the nitty-gritty. I want to help you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I want to
get into the dirt
for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my first question for you is what is the immediate differentiation from other existing apps that are similar to this, like Rover?
Sure. So in Rover, it's the current paradigm. You have a dog sitter who creates their profile, and they post their hourly rate and what services they want to provide. If that's like, I'll walk your dog for 30 minutes, that the dog can stay at my house for boarding for a night. And then if you have to leave as the dog owner, you then scroll through all the dog sitters in your area, compare prices, reach out to them, see if it's a good fit, and then you give your dog to them or however that relationship is. And then you pay inside the app to transact for that. So that's like how it's currently set up. In Puppy, we flip the script. In Puppy, it's a bunch of dog profiles that you're scrolling through, and some with play dates or others without, just if they have a dog profile on there. And then you as the dog lover, if you're whatever your scenario may be, can then reach out to the dog owner and offer to hang out with the dog for that play date for that weekend. So it's a flip script.
Okay, cool. And I know that you mentioned to me that you guys did like your very first, I don't know if soft launch is the right term or the term that you used, but basically you guys went to the green market where, you know, here in like downtown West Palm where there's like hundreds of people and like probably over 100 vendors, and it's like, it's really big and everyone takes their dogs. I am there quite often with my dog. How did that go? Like, tell me about how that went, and then tell me about the conversations you had and the feedback. Just like a general overview, like what did people say?
Sure. So the nit and gritty at it, like I'm hyper transparent too, and quite frankly, the app was not ready for a soft launch at that point because at any kink of the flow or the experience. I think she was freaking out at a seashell. So that's the stuff that we deal with in this household. But
she's protecting
the app wasn't ready for launch, but I had family in town and other like external pressures to like just at least get out there, because as an early startup founder who's building something for a considerable amount of time, you want to just like start showing progress. So I use that more as less of a soft launch, but more of just trying to meet as many vendors there as possible, because you see all like the dog vendors that are there to as like a hub and spoke model, try to find the businesses that are interacting with the dog owners all the time and begin relationships with those guys, those partners, to find where all the dog owners go, to then use those as growth routes, but without actually getting people to sign to the app. More just talking to them, wearing this shirt that says, "Can I pet your dog?" Which, like, I would forget I'm wearing the shirt sometimes. Thank you. And people would just come with their dog and say, yes, yes. And I'm like, what? And they're like, your shirt. So that was nice. And yeah, no, the shirts were a hit for sure. Having people approach us with their dogs, and it's just a conversation starter to wear a shirt like this.
Yeah. Yeah. How about, okay, so on the app wise, how is your acquisition going? Do you have some users? You got some people in beta? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So I haven't really started marketing it at all yet. But the thing is, we're getting, I guess because of the name Puppy, which we got very fortunate with in the App Store, we're getting people downloading it from all over the US, which is awesome to see that like the App Store optimization is working. But it's not kicking off any kind of community, because you have somebody in Nashville that signs up and somebody in Idaho that signs up, that you're not going to have that critical mass. So that's one reason why I put the invite code in the first place, so that to try to control the growth and the spread, or just like make it so that somebody doesn't come in and have like a lackluster experience because there is no network there yet. So that was the original approach. But then, quite honestly, just the maintenance of the codes was a lot of work, and just how you go about that. So for me at this point, it just felt easier just to unlock it, and just whenever you go into the app for the first time, your first chat is actually with me personally. So I just, if I see anybody that signs in from like out of state, I just reach out to them and tell them like, thank you so much, and then use it as a customer interview like funnel to start talking to dog owners that way, to see like why they downloaded it.
That's a great idea.
And I also wanted to do things that like I won't be able to do if all goes well and is successful, and I can't talk to every single user, but if I can do it now, for sure. Like, what made them look at the App Store and think, oh, I'm going to download this, put in my phone number, sign in, go through, create my dog's account, like, even though there was nobody in your area. So like, what were they expecting, and like what drew them to do that? So that's kind of the process.
I mean, that's like that the adage of, doing things that don't scale at the beginning.
Yeah.
Always got to start out with that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So frankly, when it comes to like the conversion, I don't have numbers for that yet because it's just I haven't even gone to like the local dog parks yet to begin just asking people to sign up, talk to them. Shelby's finally home. Thank God.
She's so cute.
Oh, she is such a velociraptor. It is like the stereotype of the meme for the golden retriever puppy.
For sure.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 11 weeks old.
Chaotic good all over.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, so I don't really have any hard numbers yet, but I'll have many more in the next month because at this point it is marketing go time to find out what model for growth works. Is it TikTok? Do we just try to get some people to start piquing interest? I've seen people discuss do selfie videos saying like, why isn't there a way for me to like hang out with somebody's dog? And then it'll like go viral, but there's no app, there's nothing directed to it, it's just somebody kind of venting. So I feel like there's an itch out there. I think I told you before that I posted about this concept on LinkedIn, which inadvertently went viral. But when it did, I didn't have anything built out yet, so I had nowhere to direct that traffic to. But this was, my gosh, 4 or 5 years ago now at this point. This is like whenever I had nothing. I was just like, leaving my corporate life to kind of sunset to a new chapter.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's just kind of figuring out for me what channel will resonate the most with Puppy and what we're trying to do.
So,
and
you said you want to focus on supply side first, right?
It feels like the right thing to do.
I know you have to develop them obviously kind of like at the same time, but like I said, the channels are so different. But I do think that like, especially if you're bootstrapping, I think the supply side is a little easier. Doing things like stuff that you already mentioned, right? Like going to dog parks or going to like farmers markets, because you're keeping it localized to West Palm, you said, at least for now, right?
Yeah, at least for now, just to see like, say hypothetically we were to get a critical mass of you. What is the critical mass? What does that look like? Trying to see what it takes to begin getting that flywheel going so that we have more information before going to the next market. And is that the right approach for Puppy too? Or like, should it go city by city, or should you just kind of like let it flourish, let it go, and then see where people are downloading it, and then just kind of go where they want you to? So yeah, ideally right now, West Palm and like the South Florida area is like my key focus. I don't want to like spread out far and then get kind of like too separated, because like every market too is so different with like urban, rural, you name it. I think it's just gonna be very different beasts depending on where you are. And I know West Palm pretty well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, and I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, there's a huge dog community here. So I don't think that it would be that hard to find potential people to like try it out. So you're going to have to, I would say that like to begin, like I said, start identifying those places that you can go, that you can meet these people and tell them about Puppy. And I don't know, we can think of something or like or like maybe set up some kind of like event, right? Like I know there's for example, like there's like the dog bar downtown. So you could go to you could go there when they have events, talk to people, or do the farmers markets, all that stuff, and just like talk to people who own dogs and just start introducing them to Puppy. And then at the same time working on the demand side.
Yeah. Which,
I mean,
the demand side,
I think you could make it work with a couple of people just to begin, like, I don't know, I can't think of any of.
I would think of like
just have a couple of people, like the initial ambassadors.
That's fun.
And be like, oh, Yeah, and like literally just 5 people who are like available. And then start getting the supply side and then linking them up with these people. But the people need to be like, whenever it comes to like, for example, in community building terms, you have like your active and your passive members, right?
Okay.
Your active members, if you think of like, for example, of a nonprofit, in general, you'll have like your active members who are the ones who are like involved, working, volunteering, giving time, giving energy, giving passion. They will give like a little bit of money, but not usually like a lot. And then you have your passive members, like they'll just like give you some money and just like be on like hosting
A newsletter
the rest of the time. So I'd say like, yeah. So I'd say like if you can identify these people who could be like your initial active users or your initial active members who are like super bought in, want to help you get this off the ground, and then also like really want to help out with these play dates and like, you know, they can do it, then you can start bringing people on and you can say like, oh, you have a golden retriever, like there's actually someone on the app already who loves golden retrievers, like they have you know, whatever, and kind of start funneling them in that way. So I'd say you could attract like, yeah, you see what I'm saying, right? Like basically like if you have like seed your demand side, and then
like you don't
use that to bring in the supply side.
It's funny.
And
It's not to the extent of like Reddit, where like Reddit was like talking to themselves to begin starting conversation. But like there's still, or like Tinder has a really funny. Are you familiar with the story of how Tinder got started? Got their critical mass in the college town?
Yeah.
Just the founder going between like all the frat houses when they had their meetings and having everyone download the app, and then going all the sororities and having them download the app, and then so within a night when they all had the meetings at the same time, they had a critical mass in that area to get it going. I wonder like what that event is, but for puppy terms. Is it like it must be like a Bark Republic, or through maybe like the animal rescues in the area that host events. I feel like you'd have some very passionate dog owners or dog lovers that either volunteer at the animal shelters, probably would be a good demographic for us to get in with, or like foster parents who would do it anyways. So this is almost like, it almost is like not like a foster system but for everybody, but the idea of a play date and a foster are very similar, just one goes home to the shelter and one goes home to a family's home. That's really the only difference in the layout, how it works. So I like the concept of just being really active at events that are already up and going, and or starting one ourselves, like Puppy Palooza or something like that.
Yeah. I think definitely starting one yourself will be a good idea, but I would not start there. First, I would start at other events that already exist, start getting name recognition and getting brand recognition, and start identifying those people that will be your very earliest users, right? Who like love the concept and they have a dog and they would love to like get onto the platform. And then on the other side too, you know, volunteer at these animal shelters, but like would love to be able to bring a dog home into their backyard kind of thing. Start identifying those people, and then like just put on an event. There's no shortage of venues, you know, that we could like do that at.
And people here are itching for something to do. So
yeah. It could be like a fun, I mean, I wouldn't say a summer thing because that's like soon, a short timeline, but just like, you know, bring a dog pool. And like, I remember they had one in West Palm. They had like a dog fest in West Palm a couple years ago, but I never saw it happen again. But it was, they had like a little track for running, and they had like one of those jump pools where they see how far they jump.
Oh, I would love.
And then a bunch of dog vendors, something like that.
Yeah, that would be
if you could do something like that, that would be great, because this is a very walkable area, and like there's so many people here, you know, with dogs. Yeah. But I would say I would put that on as like a step 2.
So what are your thoughts on social? What are your thoughts on social? And just whenever you're an early stage company, like where Puppy's at right now, who I have the handles but no posts yet. I have puppy.com, but so I have Puppy as the name on both app stores, but haven't started on the social presence yet. What are your thoughts on that? On getting started?
Social is really important. And
Yeah,
dog people love dog content, as I'm sure you know.
yeah. I get sent it every day.
You know?
Every day, people find
Yes.
out I do Puppy, and then they just send me dog reels every day. So my algorithm is broken or fixed at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that is super important, right? But I would say like before you start just kind of doing stuff to do it, think about like what kind of content you want to create, right? I mean, obviously short form video would probably be like the best one because dogs can't tweet. But, think
That
about
could be an ad.
like
Yeah.
yeah, or unless you can, teach Maple how to tweet, then like that could be a differentiator. That could be fun. But think about like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
what kind of content do you want? Do you want it to be funny and cute, or do you want it to be like helpful, or do you want it to be, educational? Like, or do you want it to be a mix of that stuff? Just like I would say like think about your key audiences, right? Like, and then think about who you want to attract with the social to begin with, because I mean, I assume that you're working with a skeleton team, so it's like, okay, well, how can we be most effective? Well, we want to increase brand recognition, for one. So you'll have to like think of the kind of like the vibe and the feel that you want to be putting out with your social content, and then start there, and then say like, okay, well, I want to attract, say, the dog owners first, but specifically in South Florida. So okay, so we'll do like some beach content, stuff like that, like stuff that's kind of like topical, or like it's the middle of summer and the asphalt is 115 degrees, like maybe don't walk your dog outside at this hour. You could also try to community source content too. You could reach out
Yeah.
to some friends or like dog influencers and stuff and say like, hey, like if I sent you like a puppy bandana, like could you do like a little promo for us? And then figure out what like a fair exchange could look like, you know? But
Yeah, I do see the micro influencer being a key part of our strategy, and just getting
yeah,
people familiar with the platform. Yeah,
yeah. I
I feel
wouldn't
like
super focus on that.
yeah,
Tell me?
yeah, because that one, it's a little bit more out of my control too. So it feels like there's like a longer lead time to get something like that going. Um,
Yeah, it's also extremely time consuming. So, like, I mean, I would say, like, maybe test some different kinds of content and stuff and maybe see what resonates with people. But the social presence can very quickly become a distraction. Like, at a key time like this, where your key priority is attracting users, you know?
yeah, yeah. That's the one thing too is I don't frankly use social media, so like for me, it just feels like this giant mountain that I have to start climbing because I just don't engage with it. I very much understand the dopamine slot machine that it is. So when it comes to just like thinking about my lifestyle, having to do it, post it, be involved, it I feel like where social media is going though, it is moving towards authenticity compared to where it was a few years ago, where it's not like these like picture perfect, like fake Instagram feeds. People are really much more gravitating towards authenticity, and I feel like dogs provide that because there's just so much relatable content to like being a dog owner and just like all the small quirks that come along with it. So at least I resonate more with like brands like that don't necessarily talk about the thing they do in their social. But it's more of like an emotion, a feeling, like a setting, a vibe. Like Red Bull doesn't talk about cans of sugar water. They talk about all these crazy stunts that they're doing. Or like, I mean, Duolingo, for Christ's sake, doesn't barely even talks about like, oh, because they talk about the language learning, but their strategy isn't. I feel like Puppy can go a similar route that doesn't necessarily talk about like the app as much, but more like the what it means to be a dog owner and being super relatable that way. To me, feels like a strategy that I could resonate with. I just as a skeleton team.
Yeah. What if you
Yes,
do, this just occurred to me,
go
but
for
like,
it.
what if you do like a campaign and it's like your baby through your eyes or something, basically. And it's just like,
Okay,
you just
I'm
ask
listening.
for people to submit like video clips or something of, whatever their dog does that, like, as a dog owner, you think is so freaking cute. Like, I
Oh,
think it's so cute how, like, Nala's little teeth stick out of her mouth, her little overbite. I think it's adorable. So, like,
the little
something
gold
like
chatters.
that. And then you could, like, reach out to those,
Yeah.
yeah, and then reach out to the micro influencers. Like, reach out to people and say, like, send me this, like, send me a picture of this. And then you can do a campaign, like, find someone who, I'm bad. I can be bad with words off the top of my head. But something like find someone who like thinks your baby's as cute as you do for the day or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like,
Something
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
easily shareable. That like, hey, like your dog does this or whatever. Everyone's dog has their own quirks. Like Maple's gonna be developing a bunch of hers for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like something super simple like that, it doesn't have to be anything crazy or anything extremely cute, but just something like almost mundane where it's like, oh, like your greyhound does that, like my greyhound does that,
Yeah,
and it's just like super
exactly.
endearing.
Like what a bonding experience too between like the community that forms through those kind of shares and that connection of just completely random strangers that also have the same type of dog, but then also with people who long to have a greyhound or that experience.
Yeah.
So I
Or
think that's
going
very
more, you could use that same campaign, and also when you go to these in-person events, you could like find someone with a dog and then just record them and be like, what's a silly thing that your dog does that you think is so cute? And then like have the person tell you like, oh, like when she wakes up in the morning and she rolls over and then flops and then buries her face. I think it's adorable,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's a great
Just
idea.
I think simple stuff like that. And then that will also allow you to put a spotlight on the South Florida area.
Yeah, it almost it seems akin to, do you know the doggist? He he's a yeah.
Of
So
course.
of course the guy gets like 40,000 likes per dog that goes on there. I mean, like he
I
probably
think every
he,
dog owner follows the dog is.
oh, for sure. I think people walk their dogs more in New York City just for the chance of running into them. I know we would. So like I feel like it kind of is in the same flavor of like that kind of content where he just approaches them and be like, hey, like what are some
Yes, yeah, like
talking
man on the
about?
street style.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
seems like really cool content.
Yeah,
That
that
I
could
would
be
listen
easy
to.
because you could go to an event and collect whatever 10, 15 videos and then there's 10, 15 clips, you can work with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
That would be low lift.
I like the sound of low lift social media at this point because
Yeah,
for
no.
me,
It's you got to
as
keep
the
it as low lift
software
as
dev,
possible at this beginning.
yeah, oh my gosh, because as the software dev, like if a bug comes in from a user, like there's no one for me to like look for to like fix it. It's like it's me. So yeah, low lift and social sounds awesome. Um,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, yeah. No,
well,
you wear all the hats. I get it.
yeah, quite literally. What are your thoughts on like the different social channels as far as like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and like just based on your instinct, which one do you think would be which one or two would be relevant to like a puppy brand?
For puppy, I would say probably number one, Instagram, because
Okay.
millennials have dogs. A lot of millennials have dogs. It's heavily millennial. Number two, probably TikTok. Number three,
Yeah.
probably YouTube. Yeah, because
YouTube.
like I was, yeah,
So when
not
you say
so
YouTube,
much.
when you say YouTube, are you referring to shorts or to long form?
Yeah, definitely just put it on shorts. Long form, I think, would be a separate thing You know, like
Yeah.
maybe if you do like man on the street at the green market or something, you can just put all that together and put it on YouTube as the full clip and people can watch it. And then down the road, if it makes sense, you can release like, oh, like 10 tips to keep your dog cool this summer or stuff like that. But, you know, that'll be like a brand question down the road. I wouldn't worry so much about long form stuff
Yeah.
because especially when it comes to dog content, it's a lot more of like the quick dopamine hit, which is much easier to achieve through like Instagram and like TikTok, like that, like short form vertical style.
Yeah, 100%. And like something that I'm getting a bunch of now are like dog training tips, like from like dog trainers in my algorithm feeds, which I find like so valuable. Like the pictures of like the top 5 things to avoid or whatever, not so much. But when I see a video of like a dog trainer who's like showing how to teach touch or all these other little tricks, like that stuff I find so valuable. So I don't know how I would integrate that yet, or if that's just going to be like a whole other series in itself or a partnership opportunity there. But
Yeah, I'd say that
yeah.
would be a great partnership opportunity,
Yeah,
you know?
because that's one thing too when it comes to like Puppy is I want to be really cognizant that if you are watching somebody's dog, if you're on a play date, that the person, if they aren't a dog owner, being like understanding what it means to watch a dog for a period of time. So just the kind of educational piece I think is really important. So the app goes through a lot to make sure that you as the dog owner have all the tools you need to do that kind of due diligence on the person beforehand, before any kind of meetup or play date. But just being really aware that to have the best play dates, you want to make sure that the people like know positive reinforcement and not negative and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, that could be something that you like provide to your puppy playdate volunteers like down the road, you know, like
yeah,
you don't want to do get caught up in like feature bloat at first, but
Yeah.
no, that kind of thing like would be super helpful, you know, that would honestly be a differentiator from other services too, like Rover, as like a person who like volunteers to work with the dogs, be like, oh well, I actually get something out of Puppy other than just like it's not just transactional, like they actually teach me stuff and they actually help me become a better dog watcher, dog
Yeah.
person. Yeah I
Dog
think
lover.
stuff like that, like the little stuff is ultimately what will help differentiate you, you know.
yeah,
But in the beginning, it's really just about like paying attention to the community and the early users and making sure that they're happy and making sure that they feel seen and making sure that they feel like this is made for them, you know. So I think that
Yeah.
like starting locally is a huge benefit because you can really nail that down before you try to scale it.
it's really funny that like we're having this conversation now at such like the precipice of me like going out to all the dog parks and all the places and beginning to do all that outreach and just meeting dog owners. So I'll have a lot more information to give to you on like as far as like numbers in the coming month, which will be fun. It'll be fun to like look back and see like where things are, lessons learned, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I'm here for it. Happy to practice your man on the street style interviews too.
Yeah. Oh, that would be.
You can
I
come
would
catch us
love to-
outside
with
as
Nala.
we
Yeah,
walk
we'll
Nala.
go to- that would be awesome, especially because once Maple gets fully vaccinated and like we're socialized and we're meeting people. But right now she's not fully vaxxed, so it's just like waiting kind of until the day that we can like start like going out and meeting people, which will be so much fun to be able to do all this like with Mabel by my side. It'll be a lot of fun. And it'll be so easy to get content too whenever I have a little golden retriever running around with me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and if you crack the code on making her an influencer, you know, let me know because we've been trying to figure that out with Nala.
Does Nala have an Instagram?
No matter how hard we try. She has an Instagram, but no matter how hard we try, she refuses to upload her own content.
That's the hardest part. If you find a
Yeah,
way, come on, I think you're techie enough. I think we can find a way to do it. Because they
yeah.
have those
I need
buttons.
to
You know those
work
buttons
with
that
her.
you can. Have you seen those buttons where the dogs can press the buttons
Yeah, where they
and say
talk.
words? I feel like there's something there. I feel there's something there. Like you can have your dog just like like this button is an API call that goes here, and then can just like send it out. So like you can just have
That's
the
so
dog
funny.
tweet.
Maybe this is the next startup idea. You and me, Dylan. This will
Okay,
be the
let's do
plan.
it. Yeah. Oh, I would love to see what Nala writes. Yeah.
Oh my god, Nala is the sassiest. All she does is sass. You'll see.
Oh
You'll
yeah.
see when you see her out there in the street.
I can't wait to
Girl
ask
looks
your
out for
dog.
herself and no one else.
So funny. She's so funny, and like I'm sure you guys get sniped out all the time whenever you're walking your dog.
Oh my god, constantly. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
she's so beautiful. And I'm like, listen, you're overinflating her ego.
She's a menace. Don't let her
She
hear this.
knows.
Yeah. I think
Oh
this is one
man.
of the
Okay,
best
well,
parts too. Yeah, about puppy in general. It's just like a work lifestyle. It's just like being able to like talk with other dog owners like yourself, and just being able to like nerd out about like what it is to be a dog owner. And just even if like you just say like the word dog, and then like the people around you all just start like just like having a great time. And I feel like it's like those kind of like connections that I am really looking forward to building, and kind of why I'm going down this route instead of like selling my soul to big tech again.
yeah,
So
man. This is
yeah,
much more
be fun.
fun.
This will be fun.
It's
Yeah.
harder, but it's more fun.
Oh, it's so much harder. But rewarding
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Okay,
Well,
well,
Dylan, thank you.
thank
I'm
you so
gonna
much for
stop
setting this up.
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you so much. Plug yourself. What do you want? Is there anything you want people to do?
Oh, geez.
Do you want
Okay. Yeah. Go
follow
to
your
a
empty
puppy.
social media?
Yeah. Well, go to puppy.com and download the app. It's Puppi, and you'll see a download button, and it's on the iOS App Store now, and it'll be on the Android App Store, I'm sure, by the time this is released. So, yeah, we'll be in both app stores. Download it, and the first chat's going to be with me, and I'd love to meet you all.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it. As Mabel